Simpson. And Japan have gone absent without leave. This is Whitmore. Hall and Gale both available. It's still Whitmore. It is the Reggae Boys who take the lead.
Hello, football family. Happy football Friday. It's a football special edition of Ball Chat Commentary. We're going to discuss with Jamaican Reggae Girls situation with Coach Lauren Donaldson, also former coach with the team that took the Reggae Girls to the World Cup in 2019. We have also, he was the interim, also the head coach at one time in 2020, 2019. Was it 2021, coach? When were you the head coach?
No, interim. I was after the World Cup when we had the.
Yes. So we have a it's really a special honor to have Coach Lauren Donaldson join us. Now the man at the helm, he's taking over from Coach Mr. Vin Blaine. Of course, we know he tendered his resignation. So, Coach, how you doing?
No, I'm doing fine, man. Just I'm looking forward to the challenges ahead, so we can actually move through this thing and just get the girls ready.
All right, getting the girls ready. Thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate you taking the time. So let's get down to the meat of the matter regarding the preparation for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers, which kicks off July 4th in Mexico. What is the sentiment around the program, around the Reggae Girls now? Of course, we have the fiasco and the AKA Pasa Pasa with Mr. Vin Blaine resignation. What is the sentiment around the team now?
I don't think we kudos to the Reggae Boys for taking a stance on stuff. So and I won't go deep into that because we have been fighting some of these battles for years. So, obviously, the boys take a stance and we see the result of that. But we won't go into that. The girls I don't think any one of them focuses on that. Their focus is to get into camp in Colorado and we can start our preparation. We have a 2 weeks preparation in Colorado coming up here. And players start arriving in Colorado on the 16th of June. We will get on the field by the 17th. There's, about 5 or 6 players who are going to come after because whether it's graduation or whether it's visa problem or something, they have some have some issue are still playing a little bit in their league. So some will arrive a little bit later. But, our hope is for everybody to come in good physical condition and we can get to work.
Okay, so the players are starting to arrive. So the sentiment around
they haven't started to arrive. No, they haven't arrived. They will get in on the 16th.
Okay, on the 16th of June. As it turns to games, of course you'll be playing Mexico, USA, and Haiti in that group. The top 2 automatically goes to the World Cup in 2023. Of course, 3rd place goes on to the playoff. As it pertains to games, if they arrive on the 17th, is there any plans for any games? What is the schedule like for competitive matches heading into this group encounters?
It's going to be how we describe competitive matches, but there's local teams that we actually, and that's why we're here. We have a good female under 20 team here that we can play, and we also have a couple MLS Academy boys team that we can play. So in terms of competitiveness, that will give you some competition. In terms of a match, an official, CONCACAF match, there's nothing right now. As you see what's going on, again, with the Jamaica stuff, there's really, you can't get a game in because you can't put a game together so quick. So, but we will have, the camp itself will be competitive. That's why we have 25 players, 26 players coming in. We will have a few inter-squad and, we will make it competitive. So we try to get as ready as possible.
Yeah. And I know you're stepping into a complicated situation. Of course, the resignation of Coach Vin Blaine. We don't want to get into what led to the resignation, but Coach, you're stepping into a situation which most people would have shy away from. The odds are against you right now as a coach because A, the preparation shaky at best, B, your chance of success, in a competitive group is very limited based on the outlook. You have Mexico, USA, Haiti, that's all ahead of the curve in terms of preparation. What made you want to step in at this moment to take on this responsibility, Bridget?
Well, I mean, it's something that I thought about when I got the phone call, but just knowing these girls and knowing the mentality of these girls all the way from U17, U20, national team, and just know the strength and willpower of some of these players. I feel it was okay for me to step in to try to help the situation, because obviously most of the girls, 90% of the girls, I know them very well, so they're gonna need some help, and they're gonna need some, some professional guidance. And we just have to give it a shot. I mean, we could say, don't do it. I could easily say, I don't want to do this. It's a mess or whatever it is. But when I think about what we have been through in the past, okay, we have been through worse than this. I think it was just my obligation to the country and to the players. It's not about me, okay? It's about them, and to see if we can help them along their journey.
Yeah. Big ups for you for stepping forward. I mean, those of us who watch this team closely over the years, and the success that you and the previous coaching staff have had, and other coaching staff have had with this team, felt like you were the most logical choice to step into this role. You spoke about knowing this team, knowing the ladies from youth 17, so it seemed like the most common sense thing to do. But we know that the JFF and common sense don't always work together, With that being said, as you look at what's going on with the Reggae Boys, and still the JFF has a huge role to play in terms of success, a successful tournament. How optimistic are you of having a successful tournament for the Reggae girls in this qualification?
I can say one thing right now, and I'm not afraid to say it. I can say, kudos, thanks to Stella Marley and her group, her Bob Marley Foundation, for, I don't think it would be very possible if she didn't step forward. And I think maybe the government of Jamaica, I could mention Babsy, who's in charge of sports, stepping forward and just trying to make sure at least this project is on track, or close to being on track. It's not perfect, but I'm sure those groups, and I'm sure the JFF is gonna try their best too to make sure everything works. But I know Stella Marley's and her group is bearing a lot of the funding, and obviously there is donation from other people who are trying to get this thing going. So it's not going to be an easy project, but we want to create a good environment for the girls to come in, very competitive, okay, very learning environment, and just make sure that we get back to a football culture, where there's success, and that's what we're looking forward to. In terms of competition, yeah, we know the competition out there. I mean, I don't need to go through that. I mean, I have 3 girls on the US team who plays for me, do a lot of training with me still, and I can name a couple, Mallory Pugh and Sophie Smith. They're like my daughters. So, I do a lot of training with them. I have played against them at U17 and U20 and Jaylee Nowell, and a lot of players that I understand from the US. But, the Mexico situation is tricky because it's in Mexico. And Mexico now has a professional league in Mexico. So Mexico is playing all year round. This team has been training forever. They were knocked out of the last World Cup. And that's why they started a professional league, to say, hey, you know what? We need to be in the World Cup. We're one of the best teams in the region. And they have put everything in their federation to make sure that their girls are successful. Right now, we don't care about that. I just care about how can we go in there, and they would say, like in racehorse, how can we go in and get the apple cart? And that's our main aim, that we go in there and just put our best foot forward and just try to get some positive results.
Yeah. Of course, coach. Now looking at the roster, the preliminary roster that you released, that was released by CONCACAF. Of course, this is not the final roster, but one name that stood out, two names that stood out for me, watching this, and the Ball Chat family that has been watching this team over the years. So what's going on with Kanya Plummer? I noticed she's missing. She was missing from the last coach, the previous coach setup. Is she still playing football? I mean, she was a captain of the previous team. Is she still playing football?
Kanya is playing football and she's actively with us, but she's not playing because I thought this was published before. Okay. And maybe Kanya, I don't know if everybody knows, but I mean, Kanya, I think I can say it now. Kanya is pregnant and she's maybe about, 7 months in. She could be there. So 6-7 months in, I'm guessing, but it's been mentioned before. So, I mean, yes, that's a medical thing. So obviously I can't ever pregnant woman running around out there. So yes, so she's she's a part of us, but she's she's having a little one, and a lot of kudos to her and congrats, Kanye.
Okay, I see. That's news to me, to the football family. So really appreciate that info, and congrats to Kanye and her family. Expanding her family. Big up to her. Another name that stood out for me, and it's Havana Sloan. Havana Sloan was not involved in the setup for the previous coach. You have brought her in the roster here. Can we assume that Havana will be in that midfield? Because a lot of us who watch the Reggae Girls play feel that midfield needs somebody to inject vibes and ball playing skills, which Havana Sloan does possess that.
Yeah, Havana Sloan is an integral, experienced professional player in there, and usually she and Bonnie has a good relationship when they play. But Havana is playing in the WSL, and she was injured. She came back and she played a few weeks ago, and she picked up another knock. But we're bringing her in, hoping that during the camp and during whatever, she can recover. I mean, if she has to play a game right now today, I don't think it's going to be something she could do. But we think, and she thinks, that by the time, within the next 2-3 weeks, she will be ready. Hopefully that's the case, and hopefully we can have her on the pitch.
Yes, exactly. That's good news. One final thing regarding the squad. I'm a big proponent of good leadership on field general, people who dictate and move the group together, because ultimately that's an essential part of success. Watching the Reggae Girls during the Olympic, during the Caribbean leg of the World Cup qualifiers, Bunny Shaw was the captain. But to me, I felt like Alison Swaby, was more of a leader. She was very vocal. She dictated to players where to go. Will Bunny Shaw remain in the captaincy armband, or is there a consideration of potentially Alison Swaby taking that on? Or how do you guys go about selecting captains?
There's captains and there's leadership, and I have been doing this for a long time. Yeah. A lot of time, the person who wears the band is not the person who's the leader on the field. Okay, but that's your captain. Okay, so we think that it's going to be more than one person who's going to sail the ship. If we depend on just Bunny to carry the load as captain, that's a heavy burden. We want to make sure that Alison, who's an experienced pro, and Bunny, and our goalkeeper Becky, and those players who are experienced players share the burden in carrying the captaincy. I don't put a lot of weight in it and saying who's the captain there. I think I put a lot of weight in who's going to be the leader on the field. Okay, and sometimes it's 1, 2, or 3 players. Sometimes it's 2. Sometimes it's 1. We want to expand that role a little bit to say, hey, give somebody the authority. I wouldn't say the authority, but the ability to go out there and whenever we need leadership, whether it's organizing a back four, organizing a corner kick, getting after somebody, those senior players, they should have the ability to step up and lead when needed. But the captaincy to me is as I say, a captain is a captain. We need, field generals and field leaders.
Yes, excellent. So definitely very good to hear your input on that. The on-field generals are essential part of success especially when you're back against the wall. Well, you don't know how it go already. Regarding the style of play, what sort of style of play are you looking? Watching the ladies in the last round of matches. Of course, the competition was, wasn't necessarily up to scratch. We were expecting a little bit more of a competitive game from DR based on how DR was playing with a high press sort of game against Bermuda and Grenada in the group earlier on. So what sort of style of play are you looking to roll out July 4th against Mexico? Is it more of a high tempo passing? What sort of play are you looking to implement? Or is just going back to when you were with the team, when you led the team in 2020 or latter part of 2019?
Yeah, to me, that's history, and you can't play the same way because the girls are older, more mature, and there's involved. Now you have depending on our fitness, where we are fitness-wise, that can dictate a lot of stuff. How much can you press? How fit are we? Coming into this thing. Now there's 3 different opponents. Mexico is different. They like to play a lot of tucker, knock it around. They like to get it wide and get crosses in the box. The USA, they have runners. They're coming at you with some of the fastest girls in the world. So it's a different style. And we're kind of similar to, say, like a 80, where we do a lot of the same stuff. Yeah, we want to make sure that we're playing good football, okay? If it's time to play through the lines or over the lines, then that's whatever the game dictates, we have to adapt. Are we going to play the same formation against all 3 teams? I doubt it. I think you got to just, just like any experienced club or an experienced team, you have to, take what the opponents give you, and in preparation, we will prepare for every game a little bit different, depending on the style they play and depending on who we want to play. If you ask me if we're going to try to play football, obviously, we have to try to play football. We can't just get it and kick it back to them every single time. Okay? So, yeah, we're going to try to play football and unbalance teams and do the same thing that most good teams try to do. But we have to have an understanding that if we play a team and they're a better team in possession than us, we have to respect it, but you still can control a game with a team having possession and you sitting back and maybe counter or something. So it all depends on what we see in these last games and tapes and how we think we have as players in. And it depends on the players that we have, okay, or the players that are ready. So, if we pick up a key injury during camp, then it might change something. But again, we have to adapt, and we have to be able to adapt on the fly while we're playing, okay? But we want to go in there and just make sure that our players have a chance. Again, our front 4 has a chance to run at people and get after them, because it's about scoring goals. So we want to try to score goals. Whether we play over the line or through the lines, we will have to be skillful enough and football savvy enough to know when and where and what and how to do it.
Yes, excellent. There's a slight overconfidence in me, and I don't know, as fans of the sport, as someone who report on the sport, of course, we don't want bias to the side, but of course we are Jamaican, so we always love to see the Jamaican teams do well. Technically, coach, you just need to really win one game, right? You beat Haiti and you guarantee a chance at least a playoff. The state of women's football globally means, in my mind, that the team that you potentially will see in a playoff situation should be a team that the Reggae Girls can beat. So how you approach the situation, knowing that you're playing in Mexico? Are you just forwarding, we're trying to win every game, take it one game at a time? What is your situation going in? Are mentally knowing that the Mexico game is first, the Haiti game is last, and of course you have the big bad USA in between? How do you juggle all of those thoughts getting ready for this tournament?
I don't think you can go out there and say, well, you know what, we're not going to try to win this game and we're going to play. I just think that you're asking for trouble, right? Okay. I don't think you can fear your opponent that well that you think you can't get something out of the game. We have to approach the game, okay, the first game, that we think we can get a result, some kind of result, okay? And that's going to be the approach. I don't think I have the players who would actually even accept something like that, that we don't think we can go out there and get something out of the Mexico game. You know, it's a win or a draw or something that they are, you know, they have to feel like, I don't know why we would be going if we don't think we can get a result. And then we're going to wait for one game. I remember and I go way back when we played 80 in 80 to qualify for the World Cup, to get to the last round of qualification. It was in 80, and a lot of people don't know about this game, but that might be one of the best games Jamaica has ever played. I think it's the best game they ever played as a women's football, and our back was against the wall, and we were in 80, and the stadium, I think the stadium should hold like 15, 20,000, but there was people outside, inside the stadium, and the place was going crazy, and we were down 2-0 to 80, and we had some adjustment to make, and it was Trudy and Bunny, and we had a little break, and we just bring them over and said, listen, we have 3 minutes before halftime, we have to get a goal. Okay, because all we needed was a draw. Okay, we were leading 80 on goal differential. We needed a tie. 80's up 2-0. 2 minutes before halftime, we pull one back. And then, you know, the second half, we came out and we had our third string keeper in goal. Third string keeper, because we had some injuries. And we found a way, Bunny found a way to score a free kick, and we lock it up, and and we got to the next round. But it was set up for 80 to go through, so anything can happen. Because when we arrive in 80, with the food and everything that we had to go through, I don't think you can ask these players to go through anything worse. We have to leave the locker room at when we were there and go in the stand, because the bathrooms didn't work and it was purposely done. It was 120 degrees in the locker room. So they have been through some adversity. So they understand what it is. So, going into this, into Mexico, there's going to be adversity. And we as coaching staff has to pull in our knowledge and, pull with the girls and just get after it. I mean, it's football.
Yeah.
That's why I play the game. That's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
There's no... Yeah. And we got, as Jamaicans, man, I don't have to explain that.
Yes, exactly. And Jean Nelson, bless her soul. Big up to Jean Nelson, rest in peace. She spoke to me, about that game. She told me about it and how difficult a situation it was, but the girls overcame that situation. So, pertaining to Jean, she was a former manager of the team. Since she passed, you and I haven't spoken, but she will be somebody that will be missed from this group that, in addition to Coach Minzy. Can you speak to any big loss for having her personal touch as a team manager and not being there?
Well, I mean, Jean was a very religious person, and I know some of the girls, because Jean was very religious, and she brings that to the table, and she brings that motherly touch to some of the girls. Yes, obviously, I think Jean will be missed, but I think a guy like you, Menzies, is important to this program. Okay, I think when we're talking about somebody who's going to be missed, or somebody who, if I have my wishes right now, he's right next to me, and we're getting after it, because, we have gotten after a lot of stuff in life, me and him. I think he's going to be one that, hopefully, I don't know. I mean, with a new federation and all this kind of stuff, we can do something and get somebody like him back into football who means well for the players and for the kids and for Jamaica, because he has done a lot of stuff. I don't even need to talk about it. We have both done a lot of stuff, but he's done a lot of stuff for these players. I mean, Jody Brown and Bunny Shaw and them, and all these girls wouldn't be where they're at if it wasn't for Hugh Menzies. So I say Hugh Menzies' spirit is going to be with us, and we will talk. He'll watch the game, and we'll go over it. So, so kudos to you. Hopefully, we can get him back in the program. But again, Jean is going to be missed because of her motherly touch.
Yes. I mean, this is Yu's team still. He has left an indelible mark on the team. So, as you said, Hugh Minzy, guided a lot of these ladies, and I'm sure it's talk and get tactics and get insight. So, Coach, as we get ready to wrap up, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you this. Say you take this team to the World Cup. What if a situation developed like what happened with Vin Blaine, where the players said, yo, you are not the man to take us to the World Cup. Are you prepared for something like that if that does happen? Just saying hypothetically, are you just focused on the job at hand right now?
I'm focused on the job at hand, but if something like that ever happened, I step aside the next. I wouldn't even wait because I have coached players and I have coached teams and I have done a lot of coaching in my life. And sometimes I find out that I'm not the right person for that player or that team. And you just say, hey, you know what? Especially in the type of club situation that we work in, and we easily just say, hey, you take that team because your personality suits it better. So yeah, I don't want to, think that far ahead because but I wouldn't have a problem with if somebody say, hey, yeah, it's not working.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fight that I will never win. So I'm talking personally to myself, and I'm not afraid to step away from something. So yeah, but hopefully we can just focus on what's ahead, in July and just get the business done.
Get the business done. Definitely get the job done. Final question, or probably penultimate question. Denisha Blackwood, a player that I admire immensely. I mean, I know she suffered an injury. She was an integral part of the run to the 2019 World Cup. What is her status now? And knowing that you need a player in her position to really kind of.
She's one of the type of player, Carl. I think one of the hardest players to find in the world, whether it's men's football, women's football, is a natural left-footed left back. People don't understand how important that is. You can have a left back, but it's a right-footed left back. She's a natural lefty left back. She's fast. She's tenacious. She's a team player. She's aggressive. She gives you everything you want, and she's very, very coachable. So hopefully, I haven't seen her. I haven't spoken with her. I just know she's going to be in camp. And I mean, and most of the girls I haven't spoken with them in the last couple of years since I depart. So, I watched their game and just see how they were doing. And, Jody Brown, I would see when she played college and I would, talk to her and say good luck and all this stuff. Because, she had to come to Colorado and do all this stuff. So, yeah, but I hope Denisha comes in. I mean, as we say, Den comes in. And my condolence to the late Den Hutchison. While I say Den, great footballer. So I hope this Den comes in and she's close to where, if she can give us 90% of what she used to be, I think it's going to be a lot of help because we need somebody like her, in our camp.
Yes. Excellent, coach. You're ready for the tournament. It's nice to hear a voice, from the whole team. It's always a pleasure talking and discussing football with you and getting ready for another big battle ahead with this tournament in Mexico. Of course, Mexico is a host, and so they are looking to get one of those CONCACAF World Cup qualifying spot. And of course, you have the big bad USA sitting there in that group. So, I've got to play some ball. You can't go around it. You have to go play some ball.
Well, you hit it right. You hit the nail right on the head. I mean, there's no way you can go fake this. You see that you go there and you perform, or you don't perform. It's black and white. You see that you play some football and you get some result, or you don't, because there's nobody, especially, I don't know how big the stadium is, but I'm saying it's going to be at least 40,000. I mean, how many? If it's 40,000, there's going to be 50,000 in there when you play Mexico and another 20,000 outside. I mean, because the Mexican fan, if people don't know, they support their women's football.
Yes.
The league in the world, they support their women's football in Mexico.
Yes, and that team is playing some serious football because watching them in the last round is a beat and teach thing them put on. So, and, being the host, I know they're looking to kind of continue that beat and teach method of just beating up teams. So, coach, you don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
We ain't that. We have to deal with ourselves and make sure so that, what the beat and teach business, I don't know how we put it, but we're going to try our best to make sure that we can have something, get something out of the game.
Yes. Any final message to the fans? I mean, I know the whole Vin Blaine issue ticked off a portion, small may be a portion of the fan base. Any final message to the fans as we get ready for this big World Cup qualifier in the final round?
Well, I mean, everybody just got to really support the team. You know, whether we agree with the team or not or whatever. I mean, the reggae boys, the reggae girls, or whatever. You know, I think we have intelligent players and intelligent people in these teams that understand, and they play at at high club levels now, so they know exactly what it looks like. And so we have to start giving them the benefit of the doubt, you know, because sometimes we doubt and we doubt and we doubt. And what happened to the reggae boys just now is it's really no, it's kind of like the same thing, okay? And as I say, you know what? I mean, I wasn't in that environment. You know, I don't know what happened. I just make sure when me and you Menzies step away, we just kind of like, and I step away after. You know, the girls continue. We want to see them always have success. I don't care who was leading the charge, but when you know these players for so long, okay, you always want them to have success. And I hope the fans can just turn themselves around and just support the girls and we can move on with this thing.
Yes, definitely, definitely. What does the coaching staff look like? I mean, your coaching staff built out yet, and who are the other members of the coaching staff?
Well, we have I just name a few. Obviously, Will is back, and Will is our fitness and performance guy, and he's a key part of what we did in the last World Cup. So Corbin Sanford is back as our video analysis guy and breaking down tape for us and going through stuff. Then we have Ak is he works with Tottenham right now, but he when I depart, he was with Busby. So I said there's some consistency there, so we might as well bring a person back who's has a little bit of continuity with them. We have Alyssa Whitehead, who's she coaches in college, and you know she's our goalkeeper coach. Then we have Xavier. You know, everybody knows Xavier Gilbert. You know, he knows these girls all the way through, coming in from Jamaica. And then we just picked up Laurie Thomas out of Florida, who has done a lot of scouting for U.S. soccer. You know, good A-license coach. I mean, you know, yeah, I don't think the A is anything, but she's a good coach and she understands a lot of stuff about, you know, training and how it's supposed to run and performance and recruiting. And you need somebody as a staff on the field and off the field who can actually, you know, relate to the players in terms of 1v1 stuff when it comes to looking at videos and looking at stuff like that. And then obviously, you know, the crew coming in from Jamaica, like you know, our equipment, you know, people and Bushu and all these guys are back in the fold. Some of the guys from there, Dr. Lawrence, and some familiar faces and people that we have worked with in the past.
Yes, excellent, excellent. Coach, wishing you all the best and ready up, you know, ready to support the team 100. You don't know, so we will ride with the Reggae Girls. Big up. Thank you for coming back. I mean, you will bring some level of calmness around the pot, the whole passa and just foolishness around football in Jamaica football right now. But, you know, thank you for taking the time, Coach. Really appreciate it. And if you need anything from our end, always, you don't know, Ball Chat is always here to support and get the word out, you know?
Yeah, man, you guys are doing a fantastic job, man. Keep up the good work. I love your guys' program. You do a fantastic job. Okay, all the best.
Yes, man. Bless up, Coach.
Bless up. All right.
And of course, Ball Chat Podcast wrapping up. That was Coach Lauren Donaldson, Reggae Girls head coach, getting ready for CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers kicking off July 4th in Mexico. The Reggae Girls will take on USA, will take on Mexico July 4th, and they take on USA July 7th. They wrap up that tournament against Haiti. I think that date is July 11th. And so the ultimate objective is to go Australia, New Zealand 2023. The girls will be in camp coming up June 17, and Coach Lauren Donaldson is the man leading the charge. Big ups. We're on Instagram at Ball Chat Podcast. We're on Twitter at Ball Chat 1. We're on Facebook at Ball Chat. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let us know your thoughts as the Reggae Girls get ready for this tournament. Big up and bless up, family.